What it do, YouTube family? It's your boy Work Machine Zoe, Machzody Machine Zoe, and we coming back with another react. Oh God, this time we reacting to Joe Knows NBA 26 complete gameplay. 2K26, my bad. Gameplay breakdown, the no NRG shooting, dribble styles, and more. Right now we got Durant with the ball right now. Rockets versus OKC. And we gonna see if this is a better game, if we fuck it with it or not. I am the chill life of Zoe, and let's tap into the video.
The highly anticipated annual gameplay breakdown video.
Snatch,
We're going to be going over
snatch.
everything gameplay related inside this video when it comes to NBA 2K.
Ooh, boy, Durant moving different right out the gate. I'm seeing Durant got the speed boost dribble. Durant turnaround midi for the signature. Okay.
6. We'll be talking about the no RNG.
Woo! You see how he touched the flow and still was able to contest. Strong handle.
Green window
beans at the
shooting
top.
from both 3-point and mid-range. We're going to be talking about the new custom layups and how can
Ooh! So we got the green windows back. My boy was in the corner open. Kyrie with the floaties.
consistent we think those are going to be. The new dunk meter. We're able to see the green window again, but is it any good?
Shit.
We're going to be talking
That
about
was
dribbling.
crazy.
Can tall build speed boost again? Of course, we've got to cover on-ball defense for all you locks
Luka
out
with the
there.
defense?
Paint defense,
Oh,
rebounding.
Giannis.
We got everything you need when it comes to 2K26 gameplay. I'm also going to be posting some unedited, raw, full game.
Oh yeah, we got dribbling back. That's what's happening. 2K, they doing one with it, but I gotta see it in my hands. You know what I'm saying? I gotta feel it to know. But right now he working that stick. He doing crazy with it.
Online user versus user gameplay here shortly, so stay on the lookout for that. But take a second, drop a like on the video for me. Let's try to get this video to
Durant
20,000
moving
likes, and let's get into this NBA
Why he got that little boy in the post?
2K26 gameplay breakdown. All right, first things first, all the play now clips in this video are on Hall of Fame difficulty. We're going to
Okay.
start off with some dribbling in the Learn
Gotta put it on
2K
the Hall
core.
of
I don't know
Fame.
what the difficulty was on in there because whites were going in, but the play now clips are all on Hall of Fame. All right, let's start this off with dribbling. A lot of questions to be answered here, a lot of clips here for you to
Ooh.
enjoy. Let's talk about it. First thing to remember, these are NBA players. They do not have optimized SIGs. You cannot change their SIGs. They have whatever they have. Durant has Durant SIGs. De'Aaron Fox has De'Aaron Fox SIGs, etc. But the gameplay you're going to see tomorrow, I can't really speak on it, but it's
Tomorrow, as in today, they are going with the, and we gonna hit that one right now, right after this one, with the 2K mod player build and how that's gonna look and work. So stay tuned, stay tapped in, stay locked in.
the my players, and in the test builder you could change your SIGs, and it is a night and day difference from how the NBA.
Now, first thing I'm noticing, he's able to do all of these moves because there's the fatigue. Look like it's cut off. There ain't no fatigue meter. So I'm interested to know how many of these you can hit before he gets tired. But definitely got to keep in mind there's no fatigue on.
Move to how you can move when you're able to change your SIGs. But this will give you at least a general idea of how it looks, and you know how people are bursting.
That look good.
And
That
obviously
was
I know a
smooth.
lot of people from my channel are gonna be like, bro,
Okay.
like are the big builds bursting again?
Oh, okay.
And yes, you can speed boost on big builds. It's a night and day difference between 2K25 and 2K26. And people might say, oh, what about the small guards? And yes, the small guards can fly. They can really chain stuff together. People are definitely
Wow, they probably definitely gonna patch that, but right out the gate, Curry is spamming the hell out of this behind the back. And Curry behind the back, spam. Oh, that's probably got a green window of itself, of a high green window.
to find some glitchy
Any
stuff.
one
You
of
see, you
those
can
you could
spam
pull up.
behind the backs. You can spam escapes. There's some really, really good launchy behind the backs now, and you can start to combo those with like explosive behind the backs and momentum behind the backs. And you see, I mean, that's 6'11" Kevin Durant changing directions on a dime. You guys are starting to see some of the momentum crossovers. Now, I do want to mention, there's only so many hours in the day at Community Day that you can't really like fully focus on everything. And my boy Young Dirk was really focused on dribbling, so he sent me all these.
Why is Lillard going crazy like this, bro? You would have thought Lillard had Kyrie handles.
in the Learn 2K. So I'm gonna leave the link to his dribble tutorial down below if you want to see more about dribbling after you finish this video.
Definitely not.
Shout out to Young Dirt for hooking me up with the clips. I did get some dribble clips, but like I wasn't gonna spend a few hours on it when I knew other people were doing it. I wanted to focus on other areas of the game so we could get as much information as possible. But what's really nice to see is all these different NBA players have different dribble styles. You know, like Curry has his, Fox has his, Kevin Durant has his, Jimmy Butler.
Bro, crossing the shit out of me, bro. My eyes is going yeet, 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 yeet.
Etc. And they can all speed boost, and that's just a breath of fresh air, because I feel like in past 2Ks it was like only 1 or 2 dribble styles could really burst cleanly, so it was like you were forced to use them. Now there's probably going to end up being like a couple that are better than all the other ones, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like before it was like no matter what, if you weren't using Darius Garland last year, you had a hitch run out or just you had a no burst run out of dribble moves. It looks like there's multiple dribble styles now that can burst. And again, this isn't even with optimal SIGs to go with the dribble style. This is just what the NBA players have on. So just wait.
They better have a grenade celebration.
Tomorrow when y'all can see how the My players are moving. Now I'm definitely interested in your thoughts on the dribbling from what you've seen here, so get your comments in down below and let's start the discussion. Ooh. That is the Scottie Pippen behind the back that Mike was talking about. You know, they added some more explosive kind of behind the back dribble moves into the game, and that Scottie definitely launches you forward. There's also, I think the Kobe White one felt pretty good. I was experimenting with it. Now I know a lot of you guys probably want my opinion on dribbling. So here it is. I spent a fraction of the time dribbling as other creators, like Dirk and Koza and other creators. They spent majority of the day dribbling.
The dribbling look cool, I ain't gonna lie. I'm fucking with it.
I spent probably 20-30 minutes, tried it out, and then went to go get other information. But here's what I felt. It felt much more explosive than last year. It felt much more dynamic and like you had more burst, you had more pop with the ball in your hands. It felt like you could chain things together much more quickly.
Oh yeah, we need that.
And most importantly for me personally, it just felt more fun. Now I understand the bar from 2K25 was set extremely low,
Green bean.
It was better or more fun than that is like, well, you know, you're not really saying much, which I get,
crazy.
But it's just how I felt. Like dribbling there, I was like, damn, like this feels a lot more enjoyable than what I was doing the last 12 months on 2K25. So we'll see how the game feels at the official launch date. Because remember last year, people at Community Day found certain ways to speed boost dribbling wise, and then it was removed by the time the actual game came out. So hopefully that's not the case this year. Hopefully all this stuff people are finding in ways to burst and be dynamic and be explosive off the dribble. Hopefully all that stuff is there at launch, and then we could really dive into it as a community and find some crazy stuff. But that's enough about dribbling. Let's move on to some other gameplay aspects. All right, let's talk about shooting and shot contests. Got a bunch of clips here. Some are going to be open, some contested, some green, some miss. Want y'all to just take a look at.
Oh my god, bro, it's looking kind of good. I ain't gonna lie, they changed up the little thing at the top indicator where we got the Warriors.
And I'm gonna just let it play, and you guys can kind of start to assess, you know, how the shooting.
He shot that bitch far as hell, didn't it? They gonna let KD get away with that? 29.9 distance, almost a 30 ball distance.
How the contest system looks, and get your thoughts down below in the comments. I will say a few things. I know people are gonna ask about RNG and the pure green.
Bro, did he say this was on Hall of Fame? Because when I play Hall of Fame, this shit don't be happening, bro. They be locking my ass down. Am I sorry?
And how did it feel and blah blah blah. Obviously it's just a few, you know, hours that I was playing the game, because I also had to get, you know, my builder stuff done and all that. But the green window definitely felt more precise. Like when you got it right, it was green, but when you got it wrong, it was earlier, it was late. Like you were like, it was like if you were.
So basically if you mistime it, it seems like an ultimate miss. They might fix it, but what he's saying right now, yeah, like you gotta hit it on the nail. Like they got that shooting thing mechanics from 2K25. And maybe even brought back the shooting mechanics from 2K24.
Off, it was doinking. So when I talked to Mike in that interview I did with him, he explained it, if he could compare it to anything, was like a more skill-based 2K24 shooting system. And Curry. I could kind of see where he's coming from, just because of, you know, yes, Curry. You have the pure green window, but it is, you got to be more precise than you were on green 24. And I did feel that. Now obviously it's just a few hours. We'll see how it plays out when the game actually drops. But another thing that was noticeable was player height really matters still on the shooting. You know, taller builds definitely shoot over people and, you know, get contested less than the shorter builds. And Kevin Durant was an absolute God because of that. I mean, KD was insane on this. All right, we're going to switch gears over to mid-range a little bit here.
Okay,
and I'll be honest with you, the mid-range felt really, really good. Tested it with KD, Shea. I think there's maybe like a Curry clip, a Luka clip. Like definitely shot a few middies here and there, but was definitely using it a lot with Kevin Durant, just trying to
Yeah, boy. KD looking godly. Y'all know how I'm coming.
How the contest system was registering. I had somebody using Shea on the other team, and then I was using KD, and we basically tested mid-ranges for like good 10-15 minutes straight. They feel really, really good. I know they were good on 25. They feel really good on 26. And again, the height thing, I know I'm harping on it a lot, but like you start to see how people are, you know, you saw in the dribbling in the beginning of this video, right? Like people are able to move now on the bigger players, and that wasn't even my players, like I said. That was NBA players, and you were still bursting and doing all that.
KD look
and you combine it with the fact that you're really like shooting over people.
It's bringing a smile to my face. Hopefully this ain't the same game as 24 and 25, but shit, it looked good previewing. In terms of that
advantage, like you might actually see a back and forth this year of small guards and big guards both being viable again. I think overall for the game, that would be beautiful. A little bit more build diversity, a little bit more play style diversity. And what I will say about shot contests is they definitely felt stronger than 2K25. 2K25 to me felt like you were kind of praying for a contest. Like 90% of stuff just registered open. It didn't feel like that on this game. It definitely felt stronger, but not stronger to the point where ghost contests were happening like in past 2Ks. If a dude had his hand down, especially against a guy like Durant who's so tall, but even other players that we tested like Shea and stuff, it would say open if their hand was down. So if they reached and you shot it, it said open. If they jump but they were, you know, super late getting out to you, it would still say open. If you created enough space, like on that fade over Chet right there, it says open. But then if they, you know, if they're 7%. Under you and they get a hand near your face or near where the ball was, or they jump in time.
I ain't gonna lie, who can contest that? 7% sound about right.
Get there before you release the ball, they'd register some type of contest. Now let's talk about rhythm shooting, the new rhythm shooting system, right? Apparently you only have to green the tempo, and that is confirmed because you're about to see a couple clips of it, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna be honest. You know, apparently if you don't green the timing, it makes it harder to green the tempo, but as long as you just green the tempo, it still goes in.
Oh, wow.
And I'll be honest,
they're gonna patch
without the meter, it's kind of like, man, he's making whites is kind of what I feel like, you know, even though I understand the system is different, but when you turn the meter on and see it visually, I mean, I'll be honest. It hurts my soul. I'm like, bro, this dude is making a 3/4 bar shot, but I understand the logic is different now, but I think we're all like ingrained in the 2K25 rhythm shooting system. Let me know your comments down below. Let's talk quick about perimeter defense.
I ain't never used rhythm shooting. If y'all use rhythm shooting, let me know how y'all feel. They're gonna make it really in rhythm, so you ain't even gonna have to pay attention to the meter. If you feel like that's how he catch it off the bounce, anything in rhythm, they're gonna make it go in. So Curry, a lot of people who shoot off the dribble is going to be very deadly in this game for sure.
You see right here, Lou Dort cuts off Kevin Durant coming up the court, and they get a physical body up, cut off, like bump animation. If someone's moving, if a dribbler is moving, and you cut them off, you will get a bump, physical body up bump. But a big difference I noticed was on 2K25, if someone was standstill dribbling at the top of the key, you could just like press against them and interrupt that dribble sequence. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible to interrupt someone's standstill dribble sequence, because obviously I just tested it in the limited amount of time that I had, but it definitely felt night and day difference to 25. 25 felt like if someone's dribbling, you know, on the perimeter, standstill, you could just basically run up to them,
that's the old Bron. Bron just lost that bit. Oh, you not stealing that, Luka.
Interrupt their whole dribble combo, and it would put their player in like a bump animation. Didn't feel like that on this game until they started moving. Once they started to try to burst past you left or right, or try to drive to the basket or whatever, then if you were running with them, then there would be some type of body up collision. But we'll have to see, you know, how that plays out throughout the year, but it definitely was a noticeable.
He just fried Luka, boy. What the world?
Difference, in my opinion. Last quick thing for perimeter defense bumps. Off the little push cross here into the defender's leg, lose the ball. I know a lot of people are like anti-push cross, anti-De'Aaron Fox crossover. Well, position yourself correctly, you could be knocking that ball free without even having to reach. All right, let's talk about layups. We know custom layups and slow-mo Euros and all this new layup stuff they're adding, so let's talk about it. Layups definitely felt much improved from 2K25, but that's not saying much. Layups were pretty awful in 2K25. Size matters. You saw that one right there with Giannis. You're going to see some with Trey, Luka. Size matters in terms of getting contested.
Damn.
It felt
Trey
like the
ain't
bigger
gonna get
players
nothing, for
definitely
real.
could go up with more 50-50 takes, and the green window would stay a bit bigger than the smaller players. But overall, whether it was Trey, Luka, De'Aaron Fox, Giannis, whoever it was, being able to see the green window, I know it was an old feature. Like, we had it in 2K24, then they got rid of it, they brought it back. I'm not hyping it up like, whoa, like this is, but it's just nice to be able to see it, not only to help you know when to release the timing of the layup, but also so you know what's a good take and a bad take and help you understand.
They ain't at the green window. I just stopped shooting with the meter. Fuck it.
You can and can't go up with. Now let's talk about driving dunks. All right, dunk meter. You know, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about this. So
hey, he is gonna be unstoppable.
Let's talk about it. First thing I'll say, size matters again. It felt like the bigger players got more consistent green windows. Some concerning things was I still feel like there's some kinks that need to be worked out in terms of the dunk meter. I have a couple of specific clips coming up here in just a second, and I did bring it to their attention, and I'm sure other people did as well at Community Day. And as we know, we saw last year, they definitely make changes after Community Day. You know, last year they nerfed builds and took out certain dribble speed boost animations and stuff, but check out a couple of these animations. You're gonna see me beat the defender and or whoever I'm playing against gets past me, and we're just, you know, driving to the basket. Like right here, Ant Edwards slides through, has a clear path to the hoop by the time he goes up with the dunk, and the dunk window stays small. So that's a little alarming to me. I feel like there's, like I said, there's still some kinks to depth.
But you gotta, I mean, if you made this nigga dunk window green, he'd be unstoppable. So you gotta make him kind of stoppable, I guess.
Work out like this one right here. It's a clean drive, blew by the defender, clean line at the hoop. But because like when I started the dunk, maybe the defender was still like pushed against me. I'm not really sure. Like I said, there's definitely some stuff to still fix. But even with that being,
Giannis is gonna be crazy on this game, bro. He gonna have a 50 ball easy.
We're still getting some nice contact dunks at times. You know, sometimes the green windows were big, sometimes they were small, so definitely figuring out exactly how the logic works. But something I definitely like is when they take you out of the dunk meter, you turn it into a layup, and it's usually a pretty greenable layup. So I feel like that is a nice change. Instead of it just being like, I went up for a dunk meter, they took me out of the dunk meter, and now the play is cooked. It's like, nah, in real life, it's like, oh, I wanted to dunk it, but now I got hit, so I'm gonna, you know, adjust my body and be able to turn it into a layup type of thing.
That boy is gonna be crazy on this bitch.
So we'll have to see how the dunk meter plays out. I'm not really sure if it's good or bad yet. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure. I need to see more, and I need to see what kind of changes are tweaked by the time the game
gonna let you punch.
Let's move on to interior defense and standing dunks. There's definitely some crazy interior defense.
Nah, Wemby got it. He like Mayweather in games. He just can't even play. Take him out the game.
Animations, like look at this one by Rudy. My God, I mean, to be fair, it's Rudy and Wemby. They have great interior defense stats, but you could definitely get some crazy stops. Now, wide open standing meter dunks, you see how big the green window is, and then even like standing meter dunks against smaller defenders, like Wemby just, you know, going up over smaller defenders. See the size of the green window. It kind of feels like
bro, it's a cheat code, bro, on everything I love.
It's like you could get crazy stops, but you could also get crazy dunks. It's kind of, I'm not really sure. Like, we'll have to see how it plays out, but they both definitely felt viable. Like, if you timed when you were going to jump to get the stop, it's like you'd get a crazy ante. But you could also, if you went up with the standing dunk and they weren't entirely properly positioned, you would just boom it on them. Also, a little detail I noticed right here was as Joel was backing down Wemby, look at when Wemby jumped, his hand was behind, like Joel pinned him so deep in the dead zone that when he jumped, his hand hit the back of the backboard and it registered open. I feel like in past games, sometimes if you did that, it would still register a contest just because it was like, it thought you were supposed to be there, but you weren't actually there because you got stuck on the hoop. I don't know, just something like a small little detail I noticed. But you see the size of these standing dunk meters, you could definitely go crazy with the standing dunks, but then you also saw some of the paint stop animations I was getting. Is like you could definitely go crazy with the interior stops as well. Like here's one from Wemby. I mean, I'm not really sure which one's going to be better, but they both definitely felt viable, at least for the little bit that I tested them. Last thing, rebounding. You can turn off the green feedback in the player HUD. I did notice that. I know some people have been asking that, but as you can see here, you don't have to green the rebound to get it. You know, Mike has already talked about that, but just so people could be clear about that. And then even here, I'm on your.
So you don't have to green rebounds.
I green the rebound and my teammate grabs it instead of me. So just because you green it doesn't mean you're automatically going to get it. But this is what the green feedback looks like. Figured we'll just touch on that real quick.
So basically, it's feedback basically saying you jumped at the right time. It's not like a meter or anything like that, but you can cut it off. Of course, they heard people's complaints. They listen. But it means basically if you make a good jump, you time your jump good, they're going to let you know that it was a good jump. Maybe probably do yellow, red, I don't know, if you have it on.
If you guys want to see raw, unedited footage of the first part game,
that is the video of the 2K26 gameplay. Anyone who pre-ordered it, that motherfucker will be coming out soon. Very, very soon. I am the Chill Life of Zoe. If you watched all of this video, of course I appreciate you, without a doubt. Until then, we gonna get to the next one. Peace. I'll see y'all next time.